the more the smartphone, the bigger the smartphone, the more radiation. And it's particularly true out the back. So if you're going to have it on, you should have the front, the glass facing toward you. So I looked into it.
That's why I carry my phone. I can put on speaker when I'm talking. And I don't have to have it.
I think I got a pretty
Still
good
pretty
deal
close
on
to
this
you.
5,000 place.
It's still pretty close to you there.
Yeah, it is, but
I'm
it's
into
not up
the
next to my brain.
True.
You came out okay on that one.
Definitely.
And that place right here. Peggy.
Anybody who wants to talk to me about a workshop, you want to look through your handouts. Go to page, I think it was 6 or 7. No, that was the benefits.
Yeah.
Go to page 9 and 10. Look over those workshops, and when you're ready, ask me about whichever workshop you're most interested in. I'll tell you about that workshop and what you'll get out of it for you.
Do you have a schedule for 2014?
On the back of the table.
Okay.
The color one on the far right of the table.
Was the lava one? Was the lava one on the paper?
Mystery.
Last off.
Yeah.
I remember him doing that when we were on a cruise and we were having dinner in Big Beaver.
We were on a cruise.
Yeah, we were. John,
Magical Realms.
I think so. John Chambers was there, and you were there, and I was there, and
It had to be Magical Realms because that's the only workshop I've done on a cruise.
yeah, we did that. But I see you licking your fingers, and I remember them. We were in someplace, I remember.
Was my mom and my sister on the cruise? Yeah. That was Magical Realms.
Totally enjoying it all. What page do you get it was?
9 and 10.
All right, I'll start. I'll be interrupted for lunch. So. The Magical Realm clicks itself.
I've already told you about the workshop. Thank you. I've already told you about the workshop. It's one of those workshops that's, it looks really simple, but it's actually advanced enough that most people would have to practice that for a while before they really get the ramifications of it.
Okay.
Both of you are actually very spiritually connected. You have a kind of like a direct line to God kind of thing, you know. I mean, you do, both of you do, and not everybody does. You know, I mean, everybody has spiritual access,
Sure.
but not everybody's gifted or talented that way, you know. And Jamie, because you're a warrior for the spirit, you're like a gatekeeper. You're like standing at the gates of heaven saying, you don't get to come in unless you give up your doubts and your fears and that kind of thing.
Cool.
And what you're doing right now is preparing you for a much larger mission. You know, you're getting your money together and things like that, but that's going to be so that you can turn it over to somebody else and do what you came to do, which has a lot to do with what we're doing today. About helping people, about working with high-powered people, with the game changers, the influencers, right? And the great thing about Magical Realms for you is that it will give you an advanced level of spiritual access, which would basically guide your mission and your purpose. The more you rise up the ladder, the more powerful you are, the more influence you have the potential of having, the more you need all the spiritual access you can get. Because we're all extremely susceptible. to our own greed and nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I don't have time right now, but sometimes at the awakening I'll tell the story about how Archangel Michael put a sword in me.
Yeah, you told that
At Tetwick Tides,
Yeah.
right? And I thought I was cool, and it turned out that was the beginning of my 4-year period of hell,
Oh,
where they
okay.
really rubbed my nose in my ego and my greed, and
Yeah. Let's
I
see
mean-
how let's test you with this.
well, basically they were saying, your shell is hard enough that we need to crack you, and so we're going to give you the hammer.
Yep.
You know,
So it does.
and if I wasn't such a brat, if I had
Right.
done those processes
Right.
a little more, I could have had an easier birth.
Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. Let's acknowledge him.
It feels like exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but you guys are signed up in spirit, and you're gonna love.
Cool.
I mean, you're gonna be so high.
Looking forward to it.
At the last day, when we do creation of the physical universe, you guys are gonna be flying.
Can you
You ought
sign
to
up
ask
for
Sarah.
spirit before you go to what?
Say it again.
Can you sign up for spirit before you go to the awakening?
Yeah. Spirit's independent.
Oh,
Usually people do it after, but people can do it before. Great thing about new people in spirit is that the awakening grads are so off the charts that they just take them with them, and they just go with them.
Cool.
Ask Sarah about that last process, the creation of the physical universe.
Okay.
Because people come in off of connected breath, the ropes course, the fire walk, and they're so blissed out that morning when they come in on Sunday morning, then I can do that process. And it takes on its proper power.
Yep.
Because you're going to go from the beginning of time to the end of time as far as you can imagine. 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 100,000, and people have pretty outrageous experiences.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Spirit is not existent.
Spirit is here, all except for the ropes course and firewalk day, which is in Lehigh.
I mean, I was thinking I'm here for spirit.
Oh,
Let's get
watch.
that.
Page 9, and then there's page 10, which has Spirit at the bottom. And all these workshops are part of Movement into Mastery. Those 2 pages are Movement into Mastery. So if you do Movement into Mastery, you get all of those. Not the ones that are indented. The ones that are indented are not part of Movement into Mastery. Those are on top of. But, like, for example, with Movement into Mastery, let's say somebody signs up and it's $165 a month. Well, instead of paying $165, they can pay $250 a month, and then they get Spirit and Lava included without paying a big lump sum.
On that lava breakthrough leader retreat, do people?
You have to go through the awakening first.
Okay, but do you learn how to do breakthrough? That's what I was wondering.
The breakthrough at the awakening, as far as I can tell, and I've been through 30 some odd of the world's most cutting edge empowerment technologies, okay? I've done everything. I've seen it all. And I've never seen, this really fascinates me that Mel Wasserman gave me this over 40 years ago, and I've never to this day found any technology more powerful for healing or empowerment or reprogramming than the breakthrough at the awakening. And so, the reason why we do lava is because we don't want to have to do your breakthroughs for you. We don't want to just give you a fish. We want to teach you how to fish. So it really moves us that we can have like a dad and a daughter who do the awakening together. They go to lava, and now they do breakthroughs on each other.
Do you ever have anybody that doesn't do anything in the spirit, the rope course, signing at the top of the pole?
Yeah. But those are the rare exceptions. Usually what happens is that most of the people will do the ropes course or the ones that they think are safe. And then about half a dozen people say, I'm good, I'm not going to do the firewalk, right? Then they watch everybody go across and go, and then almost all of them end up doing it.
Well, I was just thinking, not that I wouldn't be afraid, but I just see myself trying to climb up that pole and standing on the top of the pole. I don't know if I could physically do that, And I would, fear aside, I would certainly give it a try, but I just don't know if I could physically do it with my
You know,
people and-
my mom was overweight enough that she got up about a third of the way up the pole. But she played at 100%, and she was extremely proud of herself. You know, when I got up the pole, one of my patterns is being unconscious. You know, so I get up on the pole and I realize the darn trapeze is behind me, and it's a lazy Susan, so I have to like inch my way around. You know, it's great. If somebody else has a workshop that you're open to or interested in, just raise your hand and I'll call on you and we'll go through them.
Can I say something, Eric?
Yeah.
I was just going to expound on what you said about you were afraid that maybe your physical, wouldn't allow you to do that. What other aspects in life are you keeping your physical from allowing you to try?
Oh, I'm going to try.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know there's going to be
Well, not
fear
try,
there.
but do.
I mean, I know there's I'm afraid of heights, but I will try. And if I can get up there and get on it, I will certainly do it. I'm just saying because my left knee doesn't bend very far. I got the fused ankle, no disc in my back. I can just see myself playing. I don't know what the pole actually looks like and how you actually get onto it, but I just visualize myself trying to get on that thing and not being able to do it. But I mean, I will give it every effort I got to do it. So.
Gary,
Yeah, hold on, Kathy.
the Spirit, it says from the 25th to the 29th. Is it all day?
There are inserts on the back table, and if not, the assistants will get you one. And it has the dates and times and all that stuff. And it's 2 evenings, Wednesday and Thursday night from 6:30 to 10:30. Okay. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all day, and Friday and Saturday are even late nights. Like you go to like 10 on Friday and 11 on Saturday. Okay. And Sunday is from 9:30 in the morning till about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Then you're done.
Do you know if Krista's done that one? Do you know who Krista is? My
She did it last year. Krista Pearson.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember.
I'd like to do that.
It'd be great if she wanted to. If she hasn't done it, you should tell her that I said she doesn't want to miss it.
Okay.
If she's done it, then she might want to review it, but it's up to her. My sister and other people, like my sister's done that workshop 6 years in a row.
Oh, really?
She wouldn't miss it because she loved it so much.
Oh.
She really wanted to anchor in the lessons. And it's really beautiful because today she's one of those people who inspires me with her lack of defensiveness.
Lack of what?
Defensiveness. Like when she comes to staff meeting, she's an inspiration to all of us. And it's really interesting because one time I'd hired some people to join staff that had different, qualities and things they could add, And every time we would get in an argument or discussion, the staff would look at each other because it was so obvious that they hadn't done Spirit. You know what I mean? Like they were so defensive and about their position and all that stuff, and then the staff would just be noticing the contrast between the two groups. Is there anybody else that's interested in the workshop so I can tell you what you would get out of it personally?
Yeah.
Give you a small soul reading.
How about success in relationships? Because I have no belief in relationships.
Yeah.
Except for my dog and me. So.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Linda, in the spirit realm, you're like an angel for God. Like you're like the angel whose voice is for God. Okay? And you're incredibly powerful, incredibly brilliant. Okay? You have enormous gifts and talents. You don't know this, but within about, 6, 7, 8 years, you could be making, between 100 to 500 an hour using your gifts. Okay? But in the spirit realm, you also chose to have a family that was fairly dysfunctional and to go through some really tough, abusive things. Because you were so strong in that realm, it looked like no big deal, But you knew that by taking on such hard challenges, and to know what that kind of abuse was like, that once you transcended that abuse, then you would be bigger and brighter than ever. And that you would be a phenomenal healer and be able to help thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, okay? Yeah, but so that's what you've been doing, is you've been trying to get strong enough to survive and overcome the abuse, okay? Well, now you're stronger than ever, and that's why you're here. Now you're ready, okay? But so if you dedicate yourself and do what we have to offer, make a huge difference. And, the only reason why you've attracted what you attracted in your love life up until this point is because it's a replay of the abusive stuff. And so everybody healing that you do on those issues will completely transform your love life. Okay? I know you don't believe this, but you've got everything you need to have a great man who treats you like a queen. But you won't believe that until you do probably another year or two of real healing. And in the meantime, you can use your love life as a vehicle for practicing my new skills, drawing my boundaries, not putting up with it, that kind of stuff. Which is great. You can use it as practice. Okay? And the relationships course would do a lot for you, but mostly about your communication and how you can get through to people and melt your favorite jerks and all that kind of stuff. Right. Okay, acknowledge. Okay. If anybody else has their handouts and has a workshop that you're looking at that you'd be interested in, let me know and I'll give you a soul reading about that. Dennis.
The magical wand of communication.
Magical realms of sacred self.
It's number 20.
Oh, we're on page 9 and 10.
No wonder it's not good.
Is that one about the magic wand of communication, the getting through? That's the relationships course. Have you been through the relationships course?
No.
Yes. That was the very first one.
Yeah, but no, just a one day.
Yeah. Right. It might be good to review that. And the couple I talked about this morning, where the couple's in front of the room, that's that process. The magic wand of communication. It demonstrates something called coaching communication. And, if people take it to heart, it's a life changer. Because almost everything you'll accomplish through conversations. Okay, go ahead, Peggy.
What's this Breakthrough Saturday? It's a one day.
Oh.
I don't know about that one.
Breakthrough Saturday is a part of Movement into Mastery. If you sign up for Movement to Mastery, it starts in December with Blast Off Weekend. And then it goes through the year and you do different workshops, okay? And like everybody who's in this year's Movement to Mastery, like these people back here, their final thing is that they take what I've taught them about how to design their own experiential workshop. They design it, they produce it, they enroll for it, and then they facilitate it. So in September, there are 3 Saturdays in a row where one of those groups is going to do their Breakthrough Saturday. And then you guys are going to get an incredible deal for attending their Breakthrough Saturday. And it's a phenomenal day, They always do an amazing job.
I think I did.
Yeah, last year.
I think I did.
Right.
I know I was telling you.
Right.
But okay.
Right.
Thank you. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
And if you see yourself as any version of a healer, facilitator, coach, teacher, that kind of stuff, you really want to take a look at Movement into Mastery, because I think it's probably the best facilitator training in the country.
Lava.
Okay. Let's acknowledge Peggy and Dennis. Okay, Lava. Okay. Lava is where they learn how to do breakthroughs like we do at the Awakening. Okay. The main value is the fact that when you're done with Lava, you know how to do breakthroughs on each other for free for the rest of your life. I mean, you've been through one breakthrough at the Awakening, and over the next 6 months, it will become fairly obvious how much that one breakthrough has shifted your life. Okay? Well, you know, the fact that you'll then be able to do them with anybody in that group or previous groups, you know, Christina and lots of my grads, they do them with each other pretty consistently. And if I look back over my top, I don't know, 20, 25 breakthroughs of my life, they were profound. They were incredible. Okay? But the other thing about that is, of all our workshops, everybody considers that, all my grads consider that the most fun. Because we get blissed out, we go get Thai food, we go to the hot springs, we do soul readings at the hot springs, you know.
Lava. That's why it's called that. Okay.
Yeah. We went one year because people wanted to go to Lava, so we decided we'd try it, and it kind of became a tradition.
There's a Thai restaurant there.
You know? I mean, it's the best Thai food in the whole state.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many years have you been going?
Huh?
How many years have you been going to Lava?
15 or 20.
Wow.
So you were going when I was, were you going there when I was doing the trainings?
Sometime in that time frame. I know it's got to be more than 12.
So we're not repeating the same things we went through with our, we're just trying to have a thing to break through and get rid of. And
After about your 20th breakthrough, you'll realize none of them is the same. Some are more powerful than others, but they're never the two things. You know, it just takes another core issue and it helps you reprogram it in a way that you can't do with any other technology. Like you work with Laura, right? Up at the Awakening. Didn't Laura do some TBM on you?
oh, the TBM,
Yeah.
I thought you meant the break.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So that's a good example of a great technology, of an amazing technology. You know what I mean? And there are so many amazing technologies. And, you know, none of them will have the power or the effect that the breakthrough has on you. Although I always recommend that people do both. Like when people are moving to mastery, if they can afford it, I recommend that they not only do some great one-on-one with some of our best people, but they do movement to mastery. You know what I mean? So for you, what you'll get out of Lava is that you started, you know, in the spirit realm, you're such a, like a king, like, you're old enough to remember Camelot, you know, Richard Harris, that's you, Might for Right, you know what I mean? One of Christ's servants, and you're extremely powerful in that realm. But out of what you've gotten from the Awakening and other things, you're starting to get a sense of how powerful you might be. You're going to spend the next few years basically waking that up. And in that power is going to be your access to emotions, your ability to express the love that you want to fully express for your loved ones, the ability to interfere with people's nonsense and not put up with, like you and Denise, like all couples, kind of stuff matches like that. So as she gets more and more healed, you'll be more and more willing to not put up with, which will support her a ton. Okay? And so lava will be a great catapult to that. So will spirit. They'll both be incredible. You know, the reason why we save spirit lava for the end of the year is because we basically have our menu set up so that the most powerful stuff is at the end of the year, after the awakening. So that people who do the awakening can kind of take advantage. You know.
Amazing as you talk about that sort of stuff. Velvet, you know, it's there. It's wonderful.
Yes. In essence, that's what healing is about for you, is you're stepping up to the innate King Arthur in you. You know?
That's exactly
Great. Great. Way to go.
That's why when I stood up and told him that someone said that, I said, "See the same things to me."
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you said when I first came."
Right. Yeah. See, I don't remember what when I do these, I don't remember what I said. You know? And sometimes it's amazing that I'll say the same thing twice months later.
Well, I mean, you know, that's impressive to me because then back in February, that you gave me my soul and it almost with the word. So,
I said King Arthur and I
Great. Good job. Let's acknowledge it.
Okay. Talk about the power to enroll.
Power to enroll may or may not be on the menu this year. It depends on if Sarah's going to produce it. If she wants to. It's a $1,500 workshop. Okay, we'll probably give a few deals, but success is enrollment. It's not like enrollment. It's not akin to enrollment. Success is enrollment. And most people resist sales. They don't want to, you know, they're afraid they're going to be a slick insurance salesman or whatever, so they resist it. But the truth is, if you have any interest in making a difference in people's lives, you want to become a master of enrollment. Not just good at it, I mean a master of enrollment. Or if you want to be successful in any way, shape, or form, you want to master enrollment. You know, I can't tell you how on a daily basis I thank God for those skills in my life. You know, like somebody was encouraging our participants to go outside at the lodge that we were at and do their declarations out loud. And they're kind of noisy, right? So the neighbors call the cops, and the city comes to the guy who owns the place and basically says, whoever they were, you can't let them back, right? So the owner is kind of like ready to call me and say, I'm sorry, but we can't let you back. And it's like a month before the awakening. We can't find another big lodge. They're all booked, right? So I get on the phone and I recreate his messages in great detail so he knows I really understand. And then I say, can I give you a proposal? He goes, yeah, sure. So I tell him all the things that we can do to make sure that that will not ever happen again, right? But I use all my enrollment skills. By the time the conversation is over, I say, you know what? We'll just do it. You know? And I saved the lodge. That would have been one huge headache. We're not even talking about the skills you can do with enrollment for your family, your kids, your teenagers. You know what I mean? So, huh? Your in-laws, right, okay. So in that particular class, Power to Enroll, we teach people that what they do is they go through the enrollment conversation. We have a sample enrollment conversation. They go through and they yellow out all the parts of that conversation that they particularly resist. Like if you've got scarcity issues, you will resist when it comes time to ask for the money. Right? Which means you're always attracting people who have no money. Right? And some people even resist making the phone call to say, hey, look, I did this great thing, and I just thought it might be something you'd be interested in. Can we sit down and talk about it? You know, some people resist that. So what it turns out is that whatever part of that you resist, it's because you have something in you that you don't want to say. There's something specific that you don't want to say. Like my ex-wife Megan. One day I come down and she's all upset because she's called everybody that she loves and knows. I told them all about the awakening, and nobody's, interested. I said, why don't you do this course? Because it's coming up a month from now, and I think you get a lot out of it, right? So she does this course. And when I do the part about how if you're not saying it when you enroll people, it's because you don't want to say it in your life. And if you say it in your life, everything in your life will change. And her light bulb goes on. She gets it. So during her breakthrough, because we do breakthroughs, not like the Breakthrough Awakening, but there's a version of a breakthrough for the enrollment class, they all get what it is that I don't want to say, that I'm afraid to say to people. And then she gets what I'm not saying is that I want you to do this. That's what she can't admit. I want you to do this, okay? And she gets how it's going to change her life. So the next awakening, she has 11 people in the awakening. And ask her how her life has changed. She's one of the most brilliant psychics in this valley. Does massage, works miracles on people. Huh? Megan Oberer, she's my ex-wife. She was doing breakthroughs at the last awakening. So that's a phenomenal course. And
She's in our awakening.
She was doing breakthroughs at your awakening. Megan Oberer, the red-haired girl in phase 1. She's one of the best breakthrough leaders we have. Dennis, for you, okay, you have a very pure heart, a very good heart, and a deep connection to Christ. But in the spirit realm, you were so big, you were so brave, you were such a bright flame that you wanted some challenges as a child through your family and your bloodline that would help make you feel invalidated, like kind of like you had no right to be here and be visible and speak up and all that stuff as a kid. And so for many years, that's been the challenge that you've been trying to overcome, is not only being visible and showing up, but getting people to really recognize who you are. Like what a gift you are and how much you have to offer. Even in your love life. Especially in your love life. And so that workshop would help you to really show up, to feel brave enough and safe enough that you can be as powerful as you are and not apologize for being so much, because you are a lot. You're just under the yoke of early childhood nonsense. And besides Power to Enroll, you ought to really look at either Movement to Mastery or the Awakening for next year. Move mountains to get there. I don't know if we are, because it depends on if Sarah or somebody will produce it. It means you create the workshop. You get on the team of producers that makes the phone calls to contact the people. You handle the logistics. You make it happen, basically.
It sounds that would be God sent.
Yeah. Well, talk to Sarah and see if she's going to produce it and tell her you want to help her.
I don't know how I have no idea in God's world how to assist anybody.
How what? Oh, how you could. I got it. Maybe you can encourage her. Let's acknowledge Dennis.
Yeah.
Both of those sheets are all the workshops that happen in Movement to Mastery, okay? And most of them, not all of them, you can take independently. It just costs you a lot more money, okay? 30 Days to Peak Performance is like 2 evenings, and then another day 2 weeks later, and another day 2 weeks after that. So it's a whole 30-day thing. And like Movement to Mastery, the goal is that you take on one dream. Anything. Money, love, life, whatever. Okay? And you create a structure. Matter of fact, do me a favor, when we get back in the room, remind me to talk about the 3 steps to manifesting a dream. Because that's in there. And basically, you create so much support from your small group. There's things like you have to call a phone buddy every day. You know, there's ways to support you. And then there's processes you can do so that when stuff gets in your way, you can move the barrier out of your way. And it's quite typical that people have more movement in 30 Days to Peak Performance than they've ever had in their life about anything. On one thing. You can't pick 5 things, you can't pick one thing. But whatever it is, you'll have more movement than ever before. Pretty much a guarantee. Yeah, you'll learn how to make it happen because you've got so much support around you. You can't get in your own way. You'll actually do the thing you wish you would have always done. Yeah. And for you, particularly, any of our workshops would be phenomenal for you because it would help you to overcome the early childhood stuff about feeling like you were like not seen and not heard and that kind of thing, not recognized, right? And if I showed you a picture of who you are in the spirit now, and how powerful you are, and how beautiful, and how shiny and glowing you are, you won't even believe me. That's that's how it's
You're doing that now.
And even though you have a lot of moments in your life when you suspected that maybe you were that good and that wonderful, most of your life you've been living with doubts. And, a lot to do with mom and dad issues. You picked that family because you were strong enough that you knew you could get past that and get beyond it. Well, now you're strong enough that you can really start making forward movement like you've never done before. It's almost like your whole life has been in preparation for this. So you can start to really go. I mean growth. I mean inner work. I mean reprogramming, letting go of all that nonsense, and letting yourself show up and shine.
Please, would you?
That's what I mean.
Thank you.
You've kind of been stuck and in the mud and kind of taking some little steps, but now you're ready to get out of the mud and start making some real movement, walking, and eventually running. Acknowledge 3 places. Anybody else? Linda?
Is it like basically a year to do
Movement to Mastery? Pretty much. Yeah. Movement to Mastery is 9 months. Spirit and Love are after that. You know what I mean? So it's on a yearly schedule. And Blast Off is the beginning of Movement to Mastery, which is there's one in December and there's one in January. And both of those are the beginning of Movement to Mastery.
I have a need to do the awakening one that you do like in January first. I'm confused on, okay.
You can do any of the workshops, except for Lava, by themselves. And like I said, it just costs you more money. But if you want to do, you can do the awakening.
which
Or-
includes all of them?
No, that's just the retreat.
It's just the retreat.
Or you can do Movement to Mastery, which includes all of them. Almost all of them. There's a couple that you can't do. Huh?
The movement to mastery does not include awakening. That's separate.
And you can only do the awakening at the retreat.
Yeah, that's the retreat. The awakening is the retreat.
Okay.
And it's an evening and 5 days in phase 1, which is usually in June. An evening and 4 days usually in August. And depending, we might have another phase 1 sometime in April this year. So we'll see.
I'm like confused on which, because I mean, I know in my mind where I want to go. And I just sum it in one, I want to manifest on all levels for my highest good. And that's what I want. Because it just pretty much encompasses everything.
Yeah.
Your spiritual, your financial,
Right.
relationships.
Right. Do you know which workshop is appealing to you?
They all sound awesome.
Yeah.
So,
They are.
I mean, I think a lot of us, we already incorporate parts of already in our life. It's just, I'm guessing from your workshop, it's going to be more kind to you.
Well, let's say, unless you've been through a lot of other great workshops, almost every workshop you go to is going to be a complete eye-opener. Like everybody thinks they know about their parents. But when you do the retreat, believe me, you have no clue how much those relationships determine your life. Like, I'll do some simple exercises in the parents process where you'll find out that if you write down what you love about your relationship with your dad and what you hate about your relationship with your dad, that is exactly your money. That is your money. If you write down what you love about your relationship with mom and what you hate about your relationship with mom, that's your love life. So let's just say that every workshop, depending on what it is an eye-opener.
So I guess I'm a little confused on where I should start.
So we go into
But then you've also got that fear of, okay, can I manifest the finances to attend these classes? I mean, you've got so many different pieces of the pie. I mean, I know where I want to go, and I know I've been doing a lot of work to move into that direction and heal.
Let me give you a suggestion. Spirit is a great place to start because it's so powerful that you'll be like ecstatic about anything else that you do. Okay? And I think today is the day where when people sign up for something, they get a free $500 relationships course. They get a free blast off, which is $795. So for whatever deal we offer at the end of the day for Spirit, that's $1,300 worth of free stuff for one workshop. And you're going to not pay full price. You're going to get something. I don't remember what it is, but it's in my name. So that's a good idea. Because then by the time you do those, you'll have a good sense of which direction will carry you best.
So which one's for free? You said the relationships and blast off? Is that what you said?
Those are the bonuses that we'll give today for the people who sign up for something. That's what you guys got when you signed up for Spirit, right? It's great.
Yeah. I have a question about empowerment dialogue.
Yeah, which we're going to demonstrate this afternoon.
Okay. So should I wait?
No. Ask a question.
What are your suggestions or feelings, I guess, for me?
Of what?
Of that course, what I could get out of that course.
Do you know yet that you're a healer or not?
I believe I could be.
Okay. You have unlimited potential and you can pretty much do whatever you want. You know, you can name it, you can have it. That's a rare person. But with Empowerment Dialogue, number one, you'll be a lot like Christina in the sense that you'll actually use it and apply it, and it'll catapult your life. Like you can point and then say, I want to go there, and that will help you get there. But you're also going to be using it when you realize what a healer and what a facilitator you are. And you'll be able to work miracles with people. Meaning your children, your loved ones, your clients. You know, I'm brilliant with people in a one-on-one setting, and I've got 40 odd tools. But I bet I do Empowerment Dialogue about 60 to 70% of the time with my clients. Because it's, you know,
It's that powerful.
it's that powerful and easy and usable.
It's 2:10. Do you want us to reconvene?
Let's call 10 minutes now.
So we've already purchased the Warriors course. So how would we add on like one more class? What would
You just go to the people and tell them to sign you up. Which one are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of that impairment dialogue class.
Great. You're going to be doing Blast Off.
Yes.
So you can sign up for Empowerment Dialogue now, okay? But in Blast Off in December, then take a look at Movement to Mastery.
Okay.
In other words, in December, when you're doing that course, just consider that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, well, we've already got Spirit and Success Relationships this calendar year already. So, are those...
Blast Off is the first weekend of Movement to Mastery,
Okay.
and everything on those two sheets that is not indented is Movement to Mastery.
Okay.
So that when it comes around, you can look at that.
Got it.
Yeah, because if you want to do Empowerment Dialogue, you probably want to do a Movement to Mastery.
Okay. Thank you.
Quick question. It's 10 after. He said that you wanted to go until 2:30.
Oh,
Do you want to go until 2:30 or do you want to call time in?
I'd rather get started at 2:20 because
Okay.
we're pretty much done.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can do 15 if you prefer, but
Well, I'm okay with whatever you want to do.
Okay.
It's just,
Yeah.
you want to do 10?
yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
Success in relationships. I think that big parts of that in power to
They're very different. I mean, there's a few things we do in lots of workshops like strength showers, but success in relationships is so different than power to enroll. Very different. Actually, if you want to get a taste of power to enroll, get one of the DVDs because that has, I think, 6 hours of the highlights of power to enroll.
and the relationships. I just got just the tail end of information that you were sharing. So
What is that?
success in relationships.
I mean, have you done it?
No, I don't remember. It's been years.
I'd be surprised if you haven't, but that's the one where we do how to met your favorite jerk, conversation for getting through.
Okay.
I think it might have been the one where you were doing the 2 circles of the 100% Olympics, and you really came out during. Do you remember the 2 circles? Okay.
Oh, yes, I do. But
Yeah.
I don't remember what I did there.
You did. I'm already something, and as of today, I something else.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still remember you showing up big in that. That was a very touching, moving process for you. Yeah. But it won't hurt to do it again. It won't hurt to review it.
And like that, what I'm looking at now is financially, energy and my
Right.
genes to allow me to do it.
Well, there's lots of stuff that we do free and low cost. And like, for example, people in Movement to Mastery are almost always given certificates and coupons that are like the best deals. So sometimes they'll get coupons for workshops that are literally free. And the producers also, when they call people up, they'll have a limited number of free. So you could talk to people on the producers team and say, when you do relationships course, keep me in mind because I want to do it and I'm on a budget. Okay?
But, there's all this green stuff that are running around.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually one of the best reasons for you to consider the awakening is because you could have a goal that it would shift your financial thermostat, and if it makes a real difference in your financial, great. I've had so many people do the awakening and have it change their financials.
Well, I do understand. This is one thing I do understand. if I dress them as though what's happening brings it back to us. I show up and it's soft.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so I've got to figure out how to finance that. I'm up to my.
You're what? Talk louder for me.
I don't need to broadcast my national.
Yeah. Stay in touch with the producers and just tell them every time you get a real deal, call me. You know? Because almost every workshop, they have the best deals. They're making phone calls, and their script says something like, hey, Gary thought of you, and he wanted me to make this offer to you, and, you know. And they always get like 1 or 2 each for the just killer deals. Like in this workshop, everybody in the workshop is going to be given a certificate so they can do relationships at the price of a deposit. But anybody who signs up today is going to get it for free. So that's.
But what's the original price?
500.
So, you know, sign up for what? What do I have to sign up for?
Spirit, Awakening, Movement to Mastery, anything except for Breakthrough Saturday.
Gary, was I going to be able to get a reading or no?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I thought I finished with you.
No.
Which workshop were you talking about?
You were suggesting spirit first.
Yes.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
which one is on
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Okay, good. It's Kristen?
Yeah,
Chris.
it's Kristen.
Okay,
But
good.
I go by Chris.
I got it.
My higher self wants Kristen. So I
That's
think
great.
I'm actually going to change my name.
Great. Chris,
Or do you take it as a personal attack?
your spiritual essence is joy. In the spirit realm, you're like dancing and singing and yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay, gathering everybody up and let's dance, let's have fun, you know. And your joy is the joy of knowing God, knowing Spirit, knowing the light. And you're a bright light, truly bright light. And you asked for a family and a bloodline that would basically challenge you to feel unworthy, like not enough, you know. So there's a lot of like, you know, giving in, going along with, putting up with, that kind of stuff in your life, especially love life. Tolerating, you know, settling for crumbs instead of what you really want in your love life, what you actually deserve, what you could have. If I showed you the guys that you could have, you're married? Okay. If I showed you the guys you could have, you wouldn't believe it. You go, no, I can't do that. And you could. You could. And the main thing you need is confidence, personal power, self-esteem. And any of this work is going to support that, like nothing you've ever experienced. And I won't be surprised with you if you dive into something that you start to get some good signals about your love life pretty quickly. You'll have a new caliber of guy show up. But actually, given your issues, I'm going to support you. If you're around my work, I'm going to support you in not grabbing the first guys that come along. You got to be picky and choosy, and with your issues, you tend to kind of give your heart away.
I've switched, Gary. I have. I've been divorced almost 2 years, and all these guys want to date me, and I've told them no.
Good.
Because I want a spiritual man that's a healer this
Great.
time.
Great.
So we can work together.
Good. If I was you, and there's a guy that comes in that looks like it might be, I would talk to somebody like me or another good coach before you give your heart away, because you tend to give it away too quickly. And you need to
Run away. What do you mean? I was run.
That's the same
Married 10
thing.
years. Single
Opposite
10
of the
years,
same
married
coin.
10 years.
It's opposite of the same coin, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, right. That's part of why you run, because you're afraid you're going to give your heart away too quick.
I'm an Aquarius too, so that kind of gets me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Acknowledge her. Let's let him take the tables away.
Okay.
You don't want to miss it.
Let me know.
Not of my virtue.
You're gonna have to learn it, buddy.
It's hard.
I'm stepping out.
Okay, everybody go check your diapers.
Leslie, whoever flies the car has to fix the car.
Where's the diapers? In the diaper bag.
Okay, you are one of our facilitators, correct?
Yes.
So I'm just a little bit confused. We have already enrolled and paid for the Spirit
Yes.
and Relationship and Blast Off. So Gary was mentioning doing the, what's it called? Mastery program.
Movement to mastery.
Yes. So how would we, what is the low price to sign up for that? No.
Gary, he has not given a price for that.
Oh, okay.
Actually, ask him, and he could probably. Did he tell you to come to us?
I just thought I'd
Okay.
ask.
Oh no, you might want to ask him so that he can probably tell you directly because he hasn't given us.
Got it, okay.
I have them. I have them. Gary, I have them.
Where are they? I
They're,
need one. Matter of fact, let me have all of them and I'll fill that
And her all that body work.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
3 or 1?
It's supposed to be.
You need
Oh,
to be
did you
louder.
call one, Gary? Oh, okay. I know, that's fine.
3 minutes.
Because eventually it would have to be paid anyway. I probably could go, weeks on end without taking a real shower. A shower is like, to me, that's like a getaway time, because I shut the door, my kids are in there. And so I probably could go much longer without the shower.
2 minutes.
But having that contrast of what it is beautiful. Also knowing that I was taking care of it is also amazing. And I had a spot between a couple days, wait a couple days to see how this goes. And,
You know, I was just crunching numbers and fighting with them. So, that's just what.
No. Yes, because I thought water is so nice for sharing.
Beautiful, you can sit in his face.
Oh, yes. Go ahead and have a seat.
I got it. Yeah, I would love to. Awesome. Thank you. Excuse me. 1 minute! 1 minute!
Oh, I said between 2:30 and 2:45. So what you're saying is
Yes.
start calling Rebecca and other people that are missing.
Oh. She's doing space.
Logistics.
Okay. You heard it, right? We're looking for Rebecca and anyone else. I'll go look too.
Okay. As a warm-up exercise, I'm going to have you do it. Thank you. I'm going to have you do an exercise that comes out of the relationships course, Success in Relationships course. You're going to learn that the more enlightened you get, the more you use this skill called what I would love to hear you say to me. You know, when the world comes to us in messages. So, if you study the anatomy of all upsets, eventually you understand that the beginning of all upsets is the moment you betray your truth. You betray yourself. Once you do that, you hear people insulting you whether they are or not. You hear something that you don't want to hear. The end of all upsets basically boils down to asking the other person for what you do want to hear. So cute. After lunch, everybody's so unconscious.
What did you just say?
You were shiny. Okay. When I know I see over there. What I'm going to have everybody do is